Hey guys, Jessica here, back to do another diet comparison video. What we're going to do this week is we're going to look at something you've probably heard a lot about recently, and that's meal kits. So if you've never been here before, what I do is I work for Personal Trainer Food, and I take our meal program and I compare it to a commercial diet program out there on the market today. So unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that Amazon has bought Whole Foods Marketplace. They've also introduced that they're going to be doing meal kits very soon. Now, this comes at a really bad time for Blue Apron because Blue Apron chose to do an IPO, and Amazon buying Whole Foods just led to Blue Apron stock going down and down and down. So I wanted to really differentiate for you and explain how Personal Trainer Food is very different than meal kits and kind of walk you through my experience on both. So let's get started with meal kits in general. Since Blue Apron came around and got pretty big, I have ordered Blue Apron here and there, a little bit so I could have my little market research on hand. We are still in the food and convenience space. We're just more about weight loss specifically than cooking and having the carbs and the processed fillers and food delivered to you. So when I placed my order with Blue Apron, one of the troubles that I had with Blue Apron and other meal kits I've placed, Freshly, Martha and Marley Spoon, and a few others, is that their delivery hours typically fall when I'm at work. So even though I live in an apartment complex and I would request for my food to be left at my door, they would frequently deliver it to my apartment office. Now my apartment office is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I would have to leave work early to go get my box. They are open Saturdays, so I could grab it then, but if I had it delivered on a Wednesday, there's no way that I could let perishable food just sit in my office complex without me picking it up for 2 or 3 days. So that was my first struggle with the meal kit deliveries. The second one is that they come with a lot of fillers. So you're gonna see a lot of quinoa, a lot of rice, a lot of noodles, along with meats and vegetables. Now, if you know anything about Personal Trainer Food, our big philosophy is low carb and low sugar. I've kind of made that a lifestyle, and I feel much better since I made the switch. So I try to live by the 80-20 rule. So when I was cooking the meal kits, it was a little disappointing to see how much pasta I actually got or how many potatoes or something along those lines. Cooking, that was hit or miss. Sometimes it took 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it took me an hour. And the food was okay. It cost around $12 on meal and on average. So all things considered, I would almost rather get delivery at that point. I also had to have the fresh food sitting in my fridge. So if I got really busy at work and I stayed late or I didn't feel like cooking, I couldn't just let it sit there because it would go bad. So those were some of my struggles with just meal kits in general. Now, the biggest thing that I pointed out to you as my frustration with meal kits in general is the high amounts of carbs and sugars that are included. So when I was going to do meal kits for this diet comparison, I knew I wanted to find one that had low carb and low sugar. So I had to search high and low. Like I said, I've looked at Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Freshly, Martha and Marley Spoon, even smaller ones, and it's very hard to find a low carb meal kit. However, Chef fit the bill. Lucky for me, I was able to find Chef, and they do offer an Atkins-friendly or Atkins program meal kit delivery. So that's the one that I chose. And today we're going to do our diet comparison on Chef. So the first thing I did, as always, is I went to the website and I looked around. You're going to see a lot of sayings. They say that they have over hundreds of meals to choose from. They point out that they are the only meal kit that doesn't require a subscription, which was very cool in my eyes. And as you scrolled a little bit further down the page, they really push group and celebrity endorsements. So it was a lot of information to take in. There were things like All Recipes, American Heart Association, cooks I hadn't heard of before, magazines, TV shows. It was across the board. You could click on this and it would show you a little profile of that person and then tell you the recipes that they created or that they had available for them. Now, if I were just visiting this page out of nowhere, it would be overwhelming and too much information for me. But since I knew I wanted the Atkins low carb program, it was pretty easy. So what I did was I clicked on the Atkins low carb program, and it brought me to a page where I could either choose to have a one-time delivery or to have my meals delivered in a subscription. Now, if I chose the subscription, I got 10% off. And so what I did was I did choose the subscription to save some extra money. After I picked subscription, they asked me if I wanted to have my meals delivered or if I wanted 1 to 7 meals per week. So basically, they just deliver you dinner. I chose 7 just to get a full rundown of what they have. And after I picked 7 meals, they let me choose if I had any allergies or what kind of meats that I wanted to have delivered. So I don't have any allergies, I don't have any diet restrictions or any meats that I exclude, so I just went and kept it open. That gave me an option of 21 meals. So what I could do from there is it pre-populated 7 for me, and I could go out and switch my meals here and there. Now the meals on that page range from about $10 per meal per person all the way up to about $18.50 per meal per person for a chimichurri steak dinner. So I went ahead and checked out, and that was kind of the checkout process there. Let's compare that to Personal Trainer Foods website and Personal Trainer Foods meals. So again, I want to point out our main focus is weight loss. We do not push the chef feature. We do not push the fresh foods that you cook. What we deliver is individually packaged meats and vegetables, flash frozen to your door for weight loss or convenience purposes. Now, if you stick to the program specifically, you're going to lose weight. If you use it for convenience here and there and stick to the 80-20 rule, then it's just going to be for maintenance. What we do is we offer a couple different meal programs as well. We have 5 different meal plans, and instead of just offering dinner, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack options. Now we have about 12 breakfast, we have 25 meats, we have 26 vegetable options, and we have 14 snack options, so you can mix and match. So same thing, just like Chef, you have hundreds of meal options that you can choose from. Our meal programs are designed to be for one person, but it's really easy to make that be for 2 or 4 people. And we also offer subscription packages or one-time delivery options. So some similar features there. You can switch out your meals, you can mix and match, you can choose if you want it for more than one person by divvying up the program yourself. The biggest difference here is going to be the cost of our program per meal. So our programs range, with the discount, since we calculated the 10% off, anywhere from $3.50 to $5 per meal. Whereas again with Chef, I said it was about $10 per meal to $18.50, depending on what foods you chose. So to point that out, right now we have an offer going on for Rev. Rev is our rapid weight loss plan for women, and we have a $225 off coupon on our website. If you want to order, just go there, put in the promo code. But that Rev meal plan offers meals with that discount at $3.50 a meal. So it's a really, really, really good deal. But you just check out free shipping on both, and we go from there. So now that you know a little bit of how the website works, let me take you into delivery, execution, and all that fun stuff with the 2 different comparisons. So I actually had an awesome customer service experience with Chef. When I went through the cart and went on the checkout page, I entered in the wrong zip code. I entered in my work zip code instead of my apartment zip code. And so I got an email from Chef at 9:30 in the morning when my food was supposed to be delivered, telling me that I needed to change or update my zip code. So I just replied to them and told them, and they took care of it all on their end. They called FedEx, they got it delivered the same day. I didn't have any issues there, which was really cool. With Personal Trainer Food, if you guys are watching and if you have experience with our customer service team, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, tell us how your experience with customer service has been. But I believe we have a really caring and supportive customer service team. They're very proactive, and they're always there to help out a customer. We also use FedEx Home Delivery. So after I got my package, I went into cooking the meals. I decided to cook up a beef bolognese for dinner, and let me kind of walk you through how it went. Now, I started cooking at 8:05 last night, and with a little bit of help in the kitchen, thank you peeps, I ended up being finished at 8:45. So with the beef bolognese, which I brought the recipe card along right here so I could kind of walk you through the process. What I did first was they gave me shallots. I got to cut and dice those up. They gave me garlic. I cut those and chopped those as well. And then I put them in a pan to saute in olive oil. Now, I love garlic, I love flavorful food, so I added in a little extra on my own because I had it sitting there. And I let that saute for about 2 minutes. After that, I grabbed a package of beef, which I put in the pan, let that cook for 6 minutes while it browned. And while that was browning, I went and cut up the zucchini, and I also cut up the celery that was included. From there, after the meat was browned, I put in the tomato sauce. They gave me a 15-ounce can, but told me to put in about 12 ounces. I added in a little bit extra, and then that had to saute for 10 more minutes. After that was sauteed, then I went in and I added the zucchini and the celery, and that had to be sauteed for 8 more minutes. While the zucchini and celery was being sauteed, I cut up the salad that they included. So overall, it took me 40 minutes to get the food ready, and after that, I had my beef bolognese, and I also had a salad to eat. So we sat down, we ate it, and my review of the food was that it was all right. It didn't have a lot of flavor, and I really like flavorful foods, but it wasn't bad either. It was a little bit dry, but the celery was still kind of hard. But in general, again, I love that it didn't have the rice, the noodles, or the pastas. And the portion of the meat was actually pretty small, even considering that the average portion size is 3 to 4 ounces per person. I took the meal that was designed for 4 people and divided it up for 3 people, and that was enough, but we still had a lot of leftover salad. So they still gave us a lot of leafy greens, just a little bit of meat, and the flavor was just okay. Let me compare that to how you prepare personal trainer food. So your personal trainer food is stored in the freezer. You take it out, which comes in these packages. You put this on a plate, you pop it in the microwave for 3 minutes, you take it out, you put it on your plate, and you're done. So you can clearly see the difference in prep time here versus convenience here. And it really is different where if you like to cook, this might be your option. If you don't like to cook, then this is probably going to be your option. If you have a lot of time and you want to invest that here, this took me 40 minutes to prepare. This takes me 3 minutes to prepare. So it's very different in that regard when it comes to how the meals are prepared. Food taste. If you've had it again, go ahead, comment down below. Tell me what you think of the food. I don't want to be biased by any means, but for diet food, we constantly hear from customers that this is one of the best diet programs they've ever tasted. It's restaurant quality. It's very flavorful. We include different butter sauces with the program so you can pour it on your meats and veggies. And then it also comes with little recipe cards right here where if you do want to spice it up or if you do want to do just a little bit of cooking, you can add something. So this is an example of how the mesquite grilled chicken breast can be turned into a cordon bleu with ham and cheese. This one shows smothered green beans, which includes cheese and bacon. So you can spice it up if you'd like. We do include recipe cards as well, but it is definitely different there. So let's take a look at how their food comes packaged. Now this is what this recipe looks like. This other recipe that I received is herbed mahi-mahi. And it comes packaged in a little pouch. So this is what the mahi-mahi looks like. They did give me 4 of these fillets. And then they do give you the fresh vegetables, the lemon, the zucchini, the butter, and everything where you can see right here, the shallots, they're all individually packaged. And basically most of your prep time comes from chopping and sauteing. So in general, as I walked you through what this process looks like, they're drastically different. A meal kit is really meant to deliver you food that you can prepare. Personally, I probably wouldn't use a meal kit very often just because, like I said, the only one that really offers what I'm looking for in a low-carb meal plan is Chef. And I've used Amazon Fresh before. It's really easy to get that delivered and it's a lot cheaper. I don't mind looking up recipes on my own. But if you don't know what to cook or where to start, it would be all right to incorporate something like this with personal trainer food. These programs actually work really well in tandem. So let's say you keep personal trainer food on hand for weight loss and you eat this for breakfast and lunch and most dinners. If there's a night where you want to cook with your family or if you have guests coming over or if you just like cooking, Chef does offer a really good option where you can have 1 or 2 meals delivered a week and do that. Again, price is drastically different, storage is drastically different, but I want to hear from you. That was my experience. Have any of you used a meal kit? How about Chef specifically? What about personal trainer food? Leave us comments below. Even if we're not live anymore, we will come back and we'll answer them, and we'll be back next week for another diet comparison video. Thanks for tuning in.